What if I told you that the plastic laundry basket sitting in your closet right now could produce 25 pounds of potatoes in just 90 days? No garden needed, no expensive equipment, just a $10 basket and some dirt. This isn't some cute gardening trend. This is a legitimate survival skill that could feed your family during a crisis, slash your grocery bill in half, or give you complete food independence in the smallest living space imaginable. And the establishment doesn't want you knowing how ridiculously easy this is. Stay with me because I'm about to walk you through the exact system step by step that prepares you for anything. Let's get into it. Here's the reality nobody's talking about. Food prices aren't coming down, supply chains are fragile, and most people are completely dependent on grocery stores for survival. But potatoes are the ultimate survival crop. They're calorie-dense, nutritionally complete, store for months, and grow in conditions that would kill most vegetables. The problem is, traditional potato growing takes up massive garden space that most people don't have. That's where this laundry basket method changes everything. It's vertical growing that maximizes yield in minimal space. It's portable, so you can move it to follow the sun or hide it if you need to. And it's reusable year after year. Whether you're prepping for uncertain times, living in an apartment, or just want to take control of your food supply, this method works. So, grab something to write with because you're about to learn a skill most people have completely forgotten. Before we get into the how, you need to understand why this method is so effective. Potatoes don't grow on roots like most people think. They grow on underground stems called stolons. When you bury a potato plant stem, it produces more potatoes all along that buried stem. Traditional row planting only buries the stem once. But with this basket method, we're going to bury the stem multiple times as the plant grows, forcing it to produce potatoes at every level. A laundry basket is perfect for this because it provides drainage, prevents waterlogging that causes rot, allows air circulation to the roots, and gives you vertical space to keep adding soil as the plant grows taller. The holes in the basket also make harvesting incredibly easy. You literally just tip it over and the potatoes fall out. No digging, no accidentally stabbing potatoes with a shovel. Just clean, simple harvest. This method can yield 3 to 5 times more potatoes per square foot than traditional row planting. In a space smaller than 2 feet by 2 feet, you can grow enough potatoes to feed one person for a month. And you can stack this system, running multiple baskets in the same small area. That's the power of vertical growing. That's why this is a survival hack and not just a gardening trick. Let's talk about exactly what you need. First, the basket. Get a standard plastic laundry basket, the kind with holes all around the sides and bottom. Don't get the flimsy dollar store versions. You want something sturdy that'll last multiple seasons. Second, seed potatoes. These are potatoes specifically grown for planting. Certified disease-free. Don't use grocery store potatoes. They're often treated with sprout inhibitors that prevent them from growing. Seed potatoes cost about $12 to $15 for 5 pounds, and 5 pounds will fill 3 to 4 baskets. Choose varieties labeled as early or mid-season, maturing in 70 to 90 days. Good survival varieties include Yukon Gold, Red Pontiac, or Kennebec. These are reliable, high-yielding, and store well. Third, potting soil or a soil mix. You'll need about 2 cubic feet of soil per basket, which is roughly 1.5 large bags. Don't use garden soil or topsoil. It's too heavy and compacts in containers. Use actual potting mix, or make your own blend equal parts peat moss or coco coir, compost, and perlite or vermiculite. This gives you drainage, nutrition, and aeration. Fourth, optional but recommended organic fertilizer. Potatoes are heavy feeders. A balanced organic fertilizer or compost will boost your yields significantly. And finally, water access. That's it. No fancy equipment, no raised beds, no rototillers, just these basic supplies, and you're ready to produce serious food. Here's how to prepare your seed potatoes. About 2 weeks before planting, Take your seed potatoes and look them over. You want potatoes that are roughly the size of an egg or golf ball. If you have larger potatoes, you'll need to cut them. Each piece needs at least 2 eyes, those little dimples or sprouts. Cut larger potatoes into pieces about 2 ounces each, making sure each piece has multiple eyes. After cutting, let the pieces sit in a cool, dry place for 24 to 48 hours. This lets the cut surfaces form a protective callus that prevents rot when you plant them. This step is critical. Skip it, and you'll lose potatoes to fungal infections. During this curing time, the pieces will dry slightly and toughen up. While your seed potatoes are curing, prepare your basket. Some people line the basket with landscape fabric or burlap to prevent soil from washing out through the holes. This is optional. I don't do it because the holes are usually small enough that soil stays put once it's moist, but if you're concerned, go ahead and line it. Just make sure whatever you use is breathable and allows water to drain. Position your basket in its final location before filling it. A full basket will be heavy, around 60 to 80 pounds, and you don't want to move it once it's planted. Choose a spot that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. Potatoes need sun to produce. More sun equals more potatoes. If you're on a balcony or patio, position the basket where it'll get maximum light exposure. Now, we plant. Fill your basket with about 4 to 6 inches of your soil mix. This is your base layer. Place 3 to 4 seed potato pieces on top of this soil, spacing them evenly around the basket. Don't crowd them in the center. Spread them out so they have room to grow. Cover these seed potatoes with another 3 to 4 inches of soil. Water thoroughly until water runs out the bottom holes. This initial watering is important because it signals the potatoes to wake up and start growing. Place the basket in its sunny location and wait. In about 7 to 10 days, you'll see green shoots emerging from the soil. This is where the magic begins and where most people mess up this method. As those shoots grow taller, you're going to keep adding soil to bury the stems. This is called hilling, and it's the key to massive yields. Here's the rule. When the potato plants grow about 6 to 8 inches tall, add more soil to cover all but the top 2 to 3 inches of the plant. You're essentially burying most of the stem, leaving just the leaves exposed at the top. Wait until the plant grows another 6 to 8 inches, then hill again. Repeat this process until your basket is filled within 2 inches of the rim. Each time you bury the stem, the plant produces more potatoes along that buried section. This is why laundry baskets work so well. They give you vertical space to keep hilling. A standard basket is usually 18 to 22 inches tall, which means you can hill 3 to 4 times during the growing season, multiplying your potato production with each hilling. Let's talk about care during the growing season. Water is your primary concern. Potatoes need consistent moisture, especially once they start flowering. That's when the tubers are actively forming. The soil should feel like a wrung-out sponge, moist but not soggy. Stick your finger 2 inches into the soil. If it's dry, water deeply until water runs out the bottom holes. In hot weather, you might need to water every day. The basket will dry out faster than ground soil because it's exposed on all sides. But don't overwater. Constantly soggy soil causes rot and disease. The drainage holes in your basket help prevent this, but you still need to pay attention. Fertilizing is next. When the plants are about 6 inches tall and you do your first hilling, mix some organic fertilizer into the soil you're adding. Use a balanced fertilizer, something like 5-5-5 or 10-10-10, following package directions. Repeat this light fertilization with each hilling. Potatoes need nitrogen for leafy growth early on, then phosphorus and potassium for tuber development later. Some people use compost tea, liquid fish emulsion, or worm castings. All of these work. The goal is to keep the plant fed so it can produce maximum potatoes. Underfed potato plants will still grow, but your yields will be disappointing. Watch for pests. The two main problems are Colorado potato beetles and aphids. Colorado potato beetles are orange and black striped beetles that'll destroy your plants if left unchecked. Check your plants every few days. If you see beetles or their orange egg clusters on leaf undersides, remove them by hand and destroy them. For organic control, use neem oil or spinosad spray. Aphids are tiny, soft-bodied insects that cluster on new growth. A strong spray of water usually knocks them off. For persistent problems, insecticidal soap works well. The beauty of growing in a basket is that you can easily inspect all sides of your plants and catch problems early. Here's something most people don't know. Once your potato plants flower, you can actually start harvesting small new potatoes without killing the plant. Gently reach into the soil from the top, feel around, and carefully pull out a few small potatoes. The plant will keep growing and producing more. This gives you fresh new potatoes while the main crop continues to mature. Harvest time is when this method really shows its brilliance. Potatoes are ready to harvest when the plant's foliage starts to yellow and die back naturally. This usually happens 70 to 100 days after planting, depending on your variety. For storage potatoes, wait until the foliage is completely dead and has been dead for about 2 weeks. This allows the potato skins to toughen up, which is essential for long-term storage. Here's how to harvest from a basket. Stop watering about a week before harvest to let the soil dry out slightly. This makes handling easier and the potatoes cleaner. Tip the entire basket over onto a tarp or directly onto grass. The soil and potatoes will tumble out. Gently break apart the soil. The potatoes will be throughout the entire root ball from top to bottom because you hilled multiple times. This is where you'll see the difference compared to traditional growing. Instead of potatoes just at the bottom, you'll have them layered throughout the entire basket height. Brush off excess soil, but don't wash the potatoes yet. Let them cure in a dark, cool place with good airflow for about 2 weeks. This curing period heals any small cuts or bruises and toughens the skin for storage. After curing, brush off any remaining dirt and store them in a cool, dark, dry place. Ideal storage temperature is 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Properly stored potatoes from this method will last 4 to 6 months, taking you through winter and into early spring. This is survival food. This is food security, and you grew it in a laundry basket. Now let me give you some advanced strategies that'll take this from good to exceptional. First, rotation and succession planting. You can plant a new basket every 2 to 3 weeks throughout the growing season for continuous harvest. Stagger your plantings and you'll have fresh potatoes available for months instead of one big harvest. Second, variety stacking. Plant different varieties with different maturity dates in separate baskets. Early varieties in one basket, mid-season in another, late season in a third. This spreads out your harvest and gives you different flavors and uses. Early varieties are great for fresh eating. Late varieties store best. Third, companion planting. Put a few bush bean seeds around the edge of your basket when you do the final hilling. The beans fix nitrogen in the soil, benefiting the potatoes, and you get 2 crops from one container. Or plant nasturtiums, which repel aphids and make the whole setup look beautiful. Fourth, soil reuse. After harvest, don't throw away the soil. Dump it into a pile. Mix in fresh compost and some organic fertilizer. Let it rest for a few weeks and use it again. Potatoes are heavy feeders and will deplete nutrients, but with proper amendment, the soil is reusable for several seasons. Fifth, overwintering in mild climates. If you live where winters are mild with minimal freezing, you can actually leave potatoes in the basket through winter and harvest as needed. Cover the basket with thick mulch or straw for insulation. This is nature's refrigerator, keeping your potatoes fresh without any electricity. Let's address common problems. Problem 1. Plants grow tall but produce few potatoes. This usually means too much nitrogen, not enough hilling, or not enough sun. Solution: reduce nitrogen fertilizer. Make sure you're hilling every time the plant grows 6 to 8 inches and move the basket to a sunnier location. Problem 2. Potatoes are green when you harvest. Green potatoes contain solanine, a toxic compound. This happens when tubers are exposed to light. Solution: make sure you hill high enough that no potatoes are poking through the soil surface. Any green potatoes should be discarded, not eaten. Problem 3. Rotting potatoes. This is usually from overwatering or poor drainage. Solution: water less frequently. Make sure your basket has adequate drainage holes and consider mixing more perlite into your soil for better aeration. Problem 4. Tiny potatoes. This means the plant was stressed, usually from inconsistent watering or lack of nutrients. Solution: maintain consistent soil moisture throughout the growing season and fertilize at each hilling. Problem 5. Plants die suddenly. This could be late blight, a devastating fungal disease, or extreme heat stress. For blight, remove and destroy affected plants immediately to prevent spread. For heat stress, provide afternoon shade during extreme temperatures and water more frequently. The key to troubleshooting is observation. Check your baskets regularly. Healthy potato plants are vigorous, dark green, and bushy. If something looks off, investigate immediately. So, here's what we've covered. You now know why the laundry basket method is superior to traditional potato growing: vertical space, better drainage, easier harvest, and portability. You know exactly what supplies you need: a sturdy basket, seed potatoes, quality soil mix, and basic fertilizer. You understand the preparation, curing your seed potatoes, and positioning your basket for maximum sun. You've learned the critical planting process, layering soil and seed potatoes, then progressively hilling as the plants grow to multiply your yield. You know how to care for growing plants, consistent watering, regular fertilization, and pest monitoring. You've seen how simple harvesting is. Tip the basket, collect the potatoes, and cure them for storage. And you've got advanced strategies: succession planting, variety selection, companion planting, and soil reuse to maximize this method's potential. Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't just about growing potatoes. This is about independence. This is about being prepared. This is about knowing that no matter what happens to food prices, supply chains, or the economy, you can produce real substantial food in the smallest space imaginable with minimal investment. One laundry basket managed properly produces 20 to 30 pounds of potatoes. That's 15 to 20,000 calories. That's survival. Run 5 baskets and you've got 100 to 150 pounds. That's 3 to 4 months of staple food for one person. And the entire operation fits in a space smaller than a parking spot. The time to learn this is now, not when you need it desperately. Get your baskets. Order your seed potatoes. Start your first basket this season. Document what works and what doesn't. Refine your technique. By the time most people realize they need this skill, you'll be harvesting your third crop. This is practical. This is proven. This is powerful. And now you know exactly how to do it. The question is, will you actually do it, or will you just file this away as interesting information and stay dependent on a system that's increasingly unreliable? Your move. Get growing, get prepared, and take control of your food future. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more real survival skills that actually work, stay tuned, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay ready. If this survival hack changed the way you look at your laundry room and your food security, please subscribe and like the channel. We are digging up the self-sufficiency skills that the modern world has tried to bury. Plant your future today. The next harvest of knowledge is coming soon.